Welcome back. We now go to the English Premier League, where the race to clinch the trophy has really heated up, and Chelsea still maintain the lead of 60 points. Guys, Chelsea won the trophy yesterday night against Tottenham on League Cup, and they still have a game at hand to play. They are still at 60 points. Do you think that Chelsea are going to maintain the lead up to the end of the season?
I think Chelsea should do that actually, because yesterday night, when they won the Capital One Cup, they technically won two cups, the Premier League and the Capital One Cup, because Man City did not perform. They were beaten by Liverpool. So the only thing that can stop Chelsea from actually clinching the Premier League title for this season is Chelsea themselves.
Yeah.
Do you think Chelsea?
I agree with Kimaiga's assessment that Chelsea should win this. We know Chelsea is a very compact team. We don't expect them to crumble along the way. So really, Chelsea, they are very professional, and they have a coach in Mourinho who is so tactically active. And we saw yesterday the way they closed down Spurs. Spurs had really dominated the game, but Chelsea were really good, and they knew they were professional. They won the game professionally, and the slip by Man City is a go-ahead, is a green light.
But Chelsea have a match against PSG coming next week. Don't you think that match can maybe also halt them towards pursuing the league? Do you think that one will work against them?
I would like to refer you back to the Tottenham game, because as you can see, the Mourinho has a squad which he can easily rotate. In the Tottenham game, Matic was not there, but he played Zuma as the holding midfielder. So I think in the PSG game and the games to come, Mourinho has that freedom to actually rotate his squad, so it won't really affect Chelsea's play.
Yeah, Chelsea, I mean, EPL and Champions League are two different kind of matches. I mean, these are leagues that are very different. Sometimes you can be poor in the EPL and you can be very good in the Champions League, as Chelsea also demonstrated in 2012. They were very poor in the league, but they were very good in the Champions League. This time around, they are very good in the league, and they are also very compact in the Champions League. So even if you lose in the Champions League, it cannot affect the way you perform in the league. Sometimes you can have a very good form in the league, you have very bad form.
But don't you think these matches against they have matches, the UEFA matches, and they have the Premier League matches? Definitely, they have a chance to qualify. Don't you think they can be fatigued, and the squad? Remember, the coach has been complaining of the tight fixture.
Chelsea is a very experienced team. Teams that are in Europe usually don't really get fatigued so much. They are very used to this kind of pressure. We have seen teams who have over 60 games in a league, and some players even play up to 58 games, and these are professionals, so we don't expect them to get fatigued. Yeah. But definitely the number of games will also affect the performance up to some point.
Kimaiga, Chelsea faces West Ham on Wednesday, and it's a team that also has been performing very well. Chelsea won 2-0 in the last meeting between those two teams. Do you think they'll have a chance to win that and maybe add an advantage to their lead?
The Chelsea-West Ham game is an intriguing game, because West Ham and Chelsea is a derby. Most people don't know that, but that is a derby match. And in derbies, a lot can happen. But West Ham, when they met in the first half of the season, and now when they are meeting right now, we have reached a point in the season where a simple blunder or a small mistake by an individual can be very costly. So I think Chelsea should approach that game a bit more cautiously, which I'm sure Mourinho has already made tactics for that. West Ham will go for a win, definitely. In a worst case scenario, it will be a draw. So Chelsea really have a mountain to climb there.
Okay.
West Ham are lacking the services of Carroll, and really don't expect so much from West Ham. Even they lost the first half to Chelsea in the first game. They lost 2-0. This time around, even they were strong at some point in the season, but they are now waning. They are fading away from the top 4. At some point, we even thought they could maybe even give some competition to some clubs to top 4. But right now, the way the league is going, I don't expect much from West Ham.
Okay, before we talk about the second place to Manchester City, PSG versus Chelsea back at Stamford Bridge, what do you see about that match?
I will say Chelsea should be very careful not to let history repeat itself. Because remember, Atletico Madrid came over to Stamford Bridge and they did damage to them. As you can, when you watch the PSG Chelsea game when they were over in France, there were a lot of chances during the second half. They were overplayed by PSG. So when they come back home, if they don't adopt a good playing style, because PSG have good players, and I'm thinking by that time, or I'm hoping by that time, all their players will be in good form. The likes of Lucas Moura may be back, and with Zlatan in the striking force and Cavani, they can really do damage regardless of where they are.
Hilary, your prediction?
Yeah, Chelsea are very good at home. They have never lost really in the league under Mourinho ever. They have never lost. So, well, but Atletico Madrid show that they can beat people even. Champions League is a different kind of game. You can lose at home. And then again, Mourinho cited the monster in the PSG team. He said Ibra is a monster. He can take balls. He can take situations that are very complicated and score. And I think they have to be aware of that monster.
Okay, Man City are trailing behind. They are second at 55 points, but Manuel Pellegrini believes that retaining the title will be very difficult, as Manchester City lost yesterday 2-1 against Liverpool. Do you think they can cope up with the speed that Chelsea is moving on?
I highly doubt that. But what has really disappointed me about Man City over the past few games that the creativity in the attacking is not that well. It's not the way it was during the last season or the seasons before that. And again, Toure is back, but when you see the performance which he put up in Liverpool, it wasn't that good. The likes of Aguero are back, Dzeko is there. So I don't really understand why Man City are not doing away with the small teams, because when you are number one, actually you're only worrying about when the second place team catch up to you. But when you're number two, you have double pressure. You have to catch up with the first team on the table, and also you have to make sure you don't lose points. So the problem so far for Man City has been they don't really pass the ball quick enough. Right? They lack some sort of creativity in the final third of the opponent's team, and that is what is causing them right now.
Yeah, I think I don't agree first. You just meant that Chelsea are moving very fast. Remember they drew with Burnley before playing Tottenham, and it was a ground which Man City should have gained. But unfortunately, Man City, watching the game against Liverpool, they don't have the intensity. They were moving the ball very slowly, allowing Liverpool to settle, and the likes of Coutinho, they took the game at the scruff of its neck, and you can understand my assessment when I say that Coutinho, even without a chance, he can score. So I think Man City are letting themselves down. They have everybody, and Yaya Toure, in fact, was the flop of the match. His passing was not good enough. He didn't have the agency. So I don't think Man City will get far.
I will say that Chelsea are moving at a far much more better
consistent
pace than Man City, because when Chelsea are playing at their worst, they settle for a draw. But when Man City are playing at their worst, they lose.
Yeah, the consistency levels of Chelsea is something that you can rely on. They are a team that even when they are at their worst, they can come up with performances.
Guys, much has been said about those two teams, and people are saying that they are the only horses in that race. Are we ruling out any other team to reaching that title?
I won't rule out Liverpool, because Liverpool is creeping in to that. It's creeping into that point where it will now be a league Premier League contender. But I think the damage Liverpool which can do at this point is the possessor Man City of the second spot in the league. So Man City should be very careful, or they'll find themselves in the third spot of the league, which is not really good, because there we have a lot of competition from the likes of Arsenal and Manchester United and the likes.
Do you share the same sentiments?
I think even when you talk about Man City, they seem to be going back. They seem to want to go to that position where everybody is scrambling for, so that these other teams like Arsenal and Liverpool, they can topple Man City, come to second and third subsequently, and then Man City will go to fourth. So I think from the second, third, and fourth positions, it's becoming really a very close encounter.
And talking about Liverpool, they moved to the 5th position yesterday. They are now at 48 points. The struggle to get the Champions League position is up. Arsenal are at 51 points, Manchester United are at 50 points, and then Liverpool. What do you see about those slots? Who have the chance? Because those are three teams who are following each other at a very close range. Who do you think will make it at the end of the season?
It's quite early to state for a fact who will make it. But I'll go for Arsenal, because Arsenal have been there over the past seasons. They have always been there. They have been scrambling there. So it's more of, it's a battle which you've been winning. The only difference is you've been having different enemies.
Yeah, the assessment that has always been made is that if Arsenal was not in the league, top 4 would have been a blank spot because they have so consistently been there ever since 1997. And I think they can make it. But we have to be aware of Liverpool. They are coming at a pace that is very alarming. And then again, when you look at the number of games or the games that are still remaining, Arsenal still face trips to Manchester United. They still welcome Chelsea and Liverpool. So they still have a lot of work to do. Whereas Liverpool are showing that they can beat even the big teams. So I think the top 4 is still very
open. So maybe you guys seems to be assured of Arsenal position, the top 4. What about Man United and Liverpool? Do they have a chance, yes or no?
For Man United, no, mostly because of their defense is not that good. They have a lot of defensive errors.
Luis Van Gaal can be a tricky. The team can be in a tricky situation. But I agree with you that everybody
has a chance. Guys, we move to the bottom of the league, and Leicester are still there. From the start of the league up to now, they are still lagging behind. They are at 18 points, and they seem to have a very tough fixture. They are facing Man City on Wednesday, and they'll be facing Chelsea. The game at hand against Chelsea is with the game that Chelsea has at hand is against Leicester. Do you think they can maybe come out of that position?
When you come to the closing stages of a season, anything can happen. Anything can happen. We've seen miracles before, and Leicester City, the fact that they've maintained, because if you look at that, they're not really far off. They're around 2 points off the second place, the last team, when they say so. They're just 2 points off. So I think Leicester City, they can. There's still time. There's a lot of time, because only 3 teams get relegated. Right? All you have to do is just get clear of that zone, and there are a lot of games still remaining.
I think Leicester is suffering because of experience. When you look at Leicester against Everton, if it was a good team, they would have won that game, but they ended up drawing the game. So I think Leicester might have a problem.
Burnley and Aston Villa are also lagging behind. They are on the relegation zone at 22 points each. Aston Villa has surprised many. They have been performing very good, but now they are at the relegation zone. What do you think of?
Yeah, 22 and 25. Sunderland is 25th, 25 points. Aston Villa 22, and which other one? Burnley 22. It's very close, but I still bet Aston Villa might go to the drops on this time back.
Unfortunately for me, the Aston Villa is a story which we've seen before. It has been recurring in the Premier League. We have teams who've been performing well, and then they go through a phase where they just perform poorly. Or they lose, or they draw, and they lose games they shouldn't be losing, and in the end they go out of the league. The same happened to Leeds United. The same happened to QPR some years ago. So I'm thinking it's just a bad phase, and history will just repeat itself. Aston Villa is going.
11 more games still to go on EPL, and we're still going to wait and see what happens to those 3 teams and the top of the league also.